Hi students, this is your NTSC expert Shubham Pathak, and today we are going to discuss history. Now we all know that NTSC is approaching and we all want to get through it, and history is one of those subjects that we know little bit about. We get confused in it, we don't remember the dates, we don't remember the concepts, and for that only I have prepared this comprehensive history session. Now what I want you to do is, I want you to go through the questions and I want you to note down the concepts that are related to these questions, and I want you to read about them, because this is not an explanatory class, we are just discussing questions. So I want you to read, take time and read about each of the options or each of the questions that I have discussed in it. These are very important previous year NTSC questions, and let's get started. The first question is, arrange the following events of 19th century Europe in ascending order. Now for these type of questions, students, I want you to understand that they take time. So please spare 1 or 2 minutes for these questions, and don't get disheartened even if you don't know about each one of the options given. For instance, let's talk about unification of Germany. Now let's say I am a student appearing for NTSC and I know that unification of Germany happened in 1871. And I also know that Vienna Peace settlement happened around 1814 and 1815. But rest of the two given options, beginning of the Greek struggle for independence and unification of Italy, I'm not very sure about. So what I'll do is, with the piece of information that I already have, I'll go through the options and I'll make a right guess. How will I do that? Now I know that Vienna Peace settlement happened before unification of Germany. If you'll go through all the options, student, and this question has already come in NTSC exam. Now if you'll go through the options, student, you will realize that only B and D are the options that are there in which option Vienna Peace settlement is before unification of Germany. That is, fourth option is before option A. So now you have only B and D to think about, and you can make a probable guess. The correct answer to this is B. Another strategy to go about this is, of course, to learn the dates, keep remembering them, make mnemonics for it, and practice. History needs a lot of practice for your NTSC exams. Next question. Arrange the following events in descending order into regard to nationalist movement in Indochina. Again, important tip that I want you to have is, go through the question twice and look for the word ascending or descending, because that would decide your answer. The correct answer to this question is A. You can use the primary tip that I gave you, even if you don't know about all the options. Just collaborate all the information that you have already and make a guess. NTSC does not have negative marking. I don't want you to leave any question. Make a guess even if you don't know the proper answer. Next question is, Hitler's ideology related to the geopolitical concept of Lebensraum or living space implied what? Now they have already explained the word Lebensraum in it. Even if you didn't know what it means, now you do. It means living space, and it is a geopolitical concept. These two information you already have in your question. Now if you go through the answers, options, you'll find they're very much similar. But the correct answer to this question is, new territories had to be acquired for settlement to increase the area of mother country. That was what his idea was. That is the reason why Second World War happened. Because when Germany and Italy decided to capture Poland, France and Britain fought with them, and that is how Second World War started. So Hitler's concept was to keep increasing his territory. Next question. Now next question is an assertion. An assertion is a statement that is given to you, and for that statement they give you a reason. What you have to do is, you have to find out if the reason given to it is true, if the assertion is true, if the reason is true, and if both of them are true, if they are coherent with each other. What is coherent? If it is a correct explanation for that assertion. Now the assertion here is that in the 17th and the 18th century, merchants from the towns in Europe started financing peasants and artisans in the countryside for production for them. Yes, we know that. Proto-industrialization is all about this. The reason that they have provided you with is In the urban centers, powerful crafts and trade guilds with monopoly rights restricted the entry of new people into the trust. Yes, reason is also correct, because we know that in proto-industrialization, because there were trade guilds that did not allow new merchants to flourish, that is one most important reason why new merchants had to move to countryside and give employment to peasants working there. So the correct answer to this question is that both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Next question is that who was ruling over Russia when famous February Revolution happened? Now we know that Russia had Tsar system in it. The king was known as Tsar, and the Tsar's name was Tsar Nicholas II. Now, everything about this question is important. What is February Revolution? Where did it happen? Why did it happen? When did it happen? And who was ruling over Russia when it happened? Next question. Which of the following features were not related to Stalin? Now, I know most of you won't know who was Stalin, and I want you to read about him, and you will find that he believed in the collectivization of agriculture, he believed in the development of a country, he believed in industrialization, he believed in introducing 5-year plans, but what he did not believe in was the New Deal, because the New Deal was started in USA and not started by Stalin. It was started by D. Roosevelt, the President of America. So the correct answer is announcement of the New Deal. Next question. Hitler formed a party. I think each one of you know that Hitler formed a party, and that party's name was Nazi Party. Next question. The impact of the French Revolution of 1830 and 1848 in Europe was the emergence of what? We know that French Revolution defined equality, fraternity, liberty for us, and it also instigated a feeling of nationalism among the people of Europe. Next question. The country which supported Germany in World War I was... Now, before I move on to this question, I would like to tell you something about the previous question. French Revolution is one favorite topic of NTSC. I want you to go through it, learn about all the hierarchy of the society, before revolution, between revolution, after revolution. Everything is important, and if you want to know about it in detail, you can attend Vedantu's masterclass on social sciences, where we can discuss it. Now this question, the country which supported Germany in World War I. In World War I and in World War II, Germany was there, but Germany's support system was different in both the world wars. For World War I, the country that supported Germany was Austria. Next question. The Russian parliament was called as... Now, there are two important parliament names that we need to learn for NTSC. One is the first one, Reichstag. German parliaments are called as Reichstag. The other one is Duma. Duma is actually nothing but Russian parliament. So next question. How many commissions were formed in Paris Peace, Germany? A difficult question. You just have to remember it. I think practice it twice or thrice so that you remember it. The answer to this is 58. If you look through the option, they all look very same, and you would have to practice a lot to learn these questions. Next question. Magna Carta of the Great Charter was signed in, a very important concept of social sciences, not just for NTSC exams point of view, but for overall social sciences. Magna Carta was the Great Charter, and it was signed in 1215. Next question. When did the establishment of the Leagues of Nations happen? Now, I want you to learn about Leagues of Nations. Why was it established, and why did it got converted to United Nations later? The Leagues of Nations was formed after First World to bring peace into the world, so that no world war should happen again. And because it had failed, we had moved on and renamed it in a better way and called it United Nations after the Second World War. So after First World War it was formed, and it was the year 1920. Next question. Important principle of fascism. Now look through the option. Terror rule in the state, to control the production and exchange systems of the state. 16. Equip the state for war, extension of the state through supremacy and victory. Now we know that Hitler was a fascist, and even if you know this piece of information, you can make out that the right answer to this question is D, extension of the state through supremacy. Next question. The Industrial Revolution of Germany was based on which industries? Again, a difficult question. The right answer to this is mineral industries. Next question. When was Russia separated from First World War? So Russia had withdrawn from First World War, and the year that it had withdrawn was 1917. Next question. Who established fascism in Italy? Now we know that Italy and Germany both were fascist countries. Germany, we had Nazi party whose head was Hitler, and in Italy we also had a fascist regime whose head was Mussolini. And if you don't know the right answer to it, just go through the options and try to make out which name do you find Italian, and that should do. Which of the following countries was not among the Allied powers? Now we know that in the Second World War there were two powers, Allied powers and Axis power. They both were fighting against each other. In Allied powers, the only country among the option that wasn't there is Germany, because Germany was the most important country in the Axis powers. Next question. Who is the author of the book Mein Kampf? Already discussed to you. The answer to this question is nothing but Hitler. Who had led the 1917 October Revolution in Russia? We know that a very important October Revolution had happened in Russia, and who was leading was none other than Lenin. Please read about him, his ideology, what he believed in, when did he lead Russia, how did he lead Russia. It's very important. Lenin and Marx and Hitler and Mussolini, I want you to read about all four of them. That was all for history session of NTSC. I hope I'll see you next time also. We will discuss some important concepts of economics. Apart from these questions, I also want you to go through NTSC objective questions. Exact questions might not be asked, but they actually help you a lot in brushing up your concepts. Till then, keep practicing. All the best for your NTSC.